Hello and welcome to Books of Blood. My name is John, and today I've got the second part of a new series that I'm doing called Horror Across America. And as I explained in the first video, what this is basically what I'm doing is I am trying to find books that are based in a particular state. Alright, so this last one, or the first one I did, was books that were set in the state of Alabama. Alright, I was a little bit disappointed in that one. Not because it was a bad video or anything like that, but because I couldn't find a lot of books that were set in the state of Alabama. I think I found 6, but 4 or 7, I believe, but 4 of them were by the same author, Michael McDowell. 2 of them were by Robert R. McCammon. As far as horror is concerned, those are probably Alabama's favorite sons right there. And then I had 1 more by a fellow by the name of John Mantooth, and that was it. So I'm like, oh man, what am I getting myself into with this project? Am I going to be able to do this? And I don't know, but I'm going to do my best. So today, and I'm going in alphabetical order. So today I have got books that are set, or horror books that are set in the state of Alaska. Now the thing about that is I thought when I go to look, as much trouble as I had with Alabama, which is in the continental U.S., you would figure there would be stories, all kinds of horror set in Alabama. I figured Alaska would be much worse because it is it's remote, it's cold, but you know what? I think I got 5 books, maybe 6 books here, all by different authors, all different titles, all set in the state of Alaska. So that being said, let's go ahead and get underway with this, okay? So the first one I got is a story collection, and this is called Swift to Chase, and this is by Laird Barron, all right? Laird Barron's 4th collection gathers a dozen stories set against the backdrops of the Alaskan wilderness, far future dystopias, and giallo-fueled nightmare vistas. All hell breaks loose in a massive apartment complex when a modern-day Jack the Ripper strikes under cover of a blizzard. A woman famous for surviving a massacre hits the road to flee the limelight and finds her misadventures have only begun. While tracking a missing B-movie actor, a team of manhunters crashes in the Yukon Delta and soon realize the Arctic is another name for hell. An atomic-powered cyborg war dog loyally assists his master in the overview of a far-future dystopian empire, following an occult initiation ritual. A man is stalked by a psychopathic sorority girl and her team of horrifically disfigured henchmen. A rich lunatic invites several high school classmates to his mansion for a night of sex, drugs, and CIA-funded Black Ops experiments, and other glimpses into occulted realities, a razor slice beyond our own. And that is Swift to Chase, and those are stories set in the Alaskan wilderness, or in Alaska, by Laird Barron. Alright. Okay. Next up we have got Bone White, and this is by Ronald Malfi. A landscape of frozen darkness punctuated by grim gray days. The feeling like a buzz in your teeth, the scrape of bone on bone. Paul Gallo saw the report on the news. A mass murderer leading police to his victims' graves in remote Dred's Hand, Alaska. It's not even a town, more like the bad memory of a town. The same bit of wilderness where his twin brother went missing a year ago. As the bodies are exhumed, Paul travels to Alaska to get closure and put his grief to rest. But the mystery is only beginning. What Paul finds are superstitious locals who talk of the devil stealing souls and a line of wooden crosses to keep what's in the woods from coming out. He finds no closure because no one can explain exactly what happened to Danny. And the more he searches for answers, the more he finds himself becoming part of the mystery. And that is Bone White, and that is by Ronald Malfi. Okay? All right. Now, this is one of those that there is no way, if I'm going to talk about horror set in the state of Alaska, there is no way that I'm not going to talk about 30 Days of Night. This is a graphic novel. The first one is the best one. There have been several, but the first one, if you just get that one and read it, then you are in for an absolute treat. What this is about is the town of Barrow, Alaska. It's a small town in Alaska, and they are getting ready to go through the whole thing where it's going to be nightfall for a long damn time, all right? 30 days of night, so to speak. So, and I'm not really sure why nobody thought about this before writer Steve Niles and illustrator Ben Templesmith thought about this, but the town is besieged by vampires. In other words, basically, it is nighttime. The vampires, it's not going to be the sun up for 30 days, and these vampires wreak absolute havoc on this town. So it is up to the townsfolk to figure out a way to get rid of these things, get rid of these parasites, these monstrosities, whatever you want to call them, vampires, okay? You know, why didn't nobody ever think about this? I don't know. I don't know why that did not run through somebody's head for a horror story, but thank goodness it did run through Steve Niles' head. And this is just an absolute fantastic story. So that is 30 Days of Night by Steve Niles and with artwork by Ben Templesmith. All right? Okay. Moving on, we've got Hold the Dark. And this is by William Giraldi. I believe this is a Networks film. I'm not sure if it's full horror. It may be a little mystery, suspense. I have not watched the film. I haven't read the book. Like I said, these are recommendations, not only to you guys, but to myself as well, okay? All right. At the start of another pitiless winter, wolves have taken 3 children from the remote Alaskan village of Keelut, including the 6-year-old son of Medora and Vernon Sloan. Wolf expert Russell Core is called in to investigate these killings and discovers an unholy truth harbored by Medora before she disappears. When her husband returns home to discover his boy dead and his wife missing, he begins a maniacal pursuit that cuts a bloody swath across the frozen landscape. With the help of a local police detective, Core attempts to find Medora, before her husband does, setting in motion a deadly chain of events in this chilling, mysterious, and completely engaging novel that marks the arrival of a major American writer. And that is Hold the Dark, and that is by William Giraldi. Okay? All right, and last, I believe this is last but not least. Yes, last but not least, we have got The Dark Land, and this is by D.M. Shepard. I believe this was a debut novella. I don't quite remember, but I think it is. Anyway, a dark tale of legendary creatures stalking the isolated trails of Wrangell St. Elias National Park in the deep cold of winter. Lured by her high peaks and vast forest, adventurers swarm to the siren call of Alaska's back country. Her harsh bite scars many, some never return. Please find my son's remains. Haunted by the last request of her foster mother, experienced outdoorswoman Rose Long skis into the Wrangell St. Elias wilderness to search for clues surrounding the missing man. Concerned about the suspicious circumstances surrounding the older woman's death, her childhood friend Ulrich joins the quest to protect the woman he secretly loves. But they have no idea an ancient evil seethes in the ice-locked boreal forest, watching their every move during the long northern nights. The legend of the Headless Ravine is steeped in blood. The Darkland's hunger for flesh never sleeps, even in the deepest cold of winter. And it has marked Rose as its next victim. And that is 5 books or 5 horror novels, 1 graphic novel, 1 short story collection, so to speak, set in the state of Alaska. Like I said, I can't believe I actually found that many books based in Alaska, and I'm sure there are more. So tell you what, and I'm going to say the same thing about Alabama, and I'm going to say the same thing about any one of these states. If you know of a book that is set in Alabama or set in Alaska, let me know in the comments below. The one for Alabama is going to post it should have already posted because this one is going to post on Monday. This one will post on, and that one posted on Friday. So yeah, just in the comments, if you know of any that are based in either one of these states, let me know, okay? And until then, take care and stay scared. Bye-bye.